To me, the decision's clear. You either choose pro-communism or pro-America. Trump is not perfect by any means necessary. I believe he's the clear choice, especially if you even care about the country in the slightest. We need to stop dividing ourselves over the below-the-line issues and unite on the issues that will actually fix our country and help our country take steps forward in the right direction. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the American Dream podcast. My name is Josh, and I'm the host of the show, the owner of American Dream. And if you don't know, American Dream is built on 6 principles: faith, family, fitness, finance, firearms, and freedom. That is what I have created this company on. That's what this podcast is built on. And that is what the company will continue to be built on as we launch products and as we grow as a business. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe if you get any value out of this. We don't ask for any payment. We don't really promote anything except our products, our own stuff, and then we'll throw out a couple shout outs to some other companies that we support, but never run an ad, none of that. Never ask for you to pay to be able to listen to this and watch this, because this information is out there for you, and I just want to do my best to portray it to you and how I see it. And yeah, because I believe, the information may be the same, but different perspectives on it can help you understand it better. So that's what I'm trying to provide here. Make sure you subscribe. Please share it. And then make sure you subscribe to the Waypoint, which is our newsletter. That way you stay up to date on all the latest content, on our products, all that stuff. You get some motivational messages out of it too. And then make sure you join the Rally Point. It is our Facebook community group. That is going to be something pretty cool once it gets growing, because it's going to connect all of us that have kind of the same mindset, feel the same way about stuff. It's going to help us come together, be able to help each other out from all across the nation. So today, we are going to be talking about the 2024 presidential election coming up this November. I believe that it's going to be a very pivotal moment for the future of us as people, but as a nation as well. And it's going to be up to you and I to be able to decide how we want this country to go. Because we can either vote. The way I see it, we have 2 votes. One is a vote to save the country. The other is to completely turn it over to the communist. That's the way that I see it. You may see it a different way, but that is how I'm going to see it. So if that turns you off, then don't let the door hit you on the way out. I'm going to tell you what I think and tell you based off of information I've gotten from other people. And I'm going to lay it out there for you how I see it. And if you don't like that, then I'm not holding you here captive. If you are, let's get into it. Because the first thing that we have to address, that we have to look at, is our culture. Our culture right now it's so jacked up. Because a lot of it has to do with the participation trophy culture. I remember as a kid when, I think that's kind of when they started doing participation trophies. Everybody wins. No, that is not how it works. Not everybody wins. The people who win are the people who did the best, worked the hardest, and performed the best. That's how it's supposed to be in life. The people that get the farthest in life are the ones who put in the work and stay consistent, the ones that perform the best. That's how it's supposed to be. But that's not how it is anymore. We need to ditch the feel-good, ditch the participation trophy culture if we want to change anything in this nation. Because when we get back to our roots of competition, that is when we get better. Because iron sharpens iron. When one wins, the other one should be looking how to win the next one. And what happens is when you have one that moves up a little bit, moves up the other, this one doesn't like it, this one's higher. So they go a little bit higher, and they can just keep stacking on top of each other and continually get better. That's why we've seen so much innovation in the last 20, 25 years. And it's because companies kept one-upping each other. And whether you like competition or not, that you have to admit, that is why We've seen so much technological advancement in the last couple decades. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to our traditional roots where a man is a man and a woman is a woman. You can like whoever you want to like, to be honest. Just don't go around telling kids how they should think. Because a kid doesn't know. They don't need somebody influencing how they feel that way because they're too young. They don't need to be understanding that. They don't need to be thinking about that when they're that young. We need to leave the kids alone. And then we just need to get back to parents being parents. Not worrying about being friends with their kids. They need to be parents. Raise their kids to be good, solid people that want to win in life. And then provide them with the tools necessary to do that. And then the last thing that we need to do to fix our culture is we need to promote a culture of personal excellence. You've heard me talk about it before. If you listen to Andy Frisella, that is where it comes from. That's where I get it from, at least. And you talk about personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. When you are taking it upon yourself to be the best version of you possible, you are going to become unstoppable. But what happens is you radiate it. You become infectious to people around you, and they want to be the best version of themselves possible. And just imagine what that would look like if you had an entire society, an entire nation of people doing their very best to be the very best. I think that'd be pretty sick if you ask me. But, I mean, it starts with ourselves. A lot of this change, all of this change, it has to start with you. It has to start with me. It has to start internally before we can ever make a change externally. And so the next big point that we need to take into consideration during this whole presidential cycle is the border crisis, and just our foreign affairs in general. Here's the deal. I know this is going to get mixed. It's going to get mixed feedback on this. But the border needs to be secured and closed. One way in, one way out. And if you don't have a passport, you do not come in. Now, if you want to come in and become an American citizen, do it the legal way. I know it's a pain right now. I know there's all this stuff. It takes too long. But that's the way it is right now. Yeah, there needs to be reform when it comes to that. But as of right now, you need to do it the legal way. And here's the deal. I mean, I hate to be like this, but to fix a lot of the problems, a lot of the crime that you see now in all these cities, we need to deport all the illegal immigrants. Because they're bringing all these people crossing the border. It's not just people seeking refuge. They're not refugees coming across the border. These are military-aged males coming, fleeing from their crimes in other countries to come here and do crime in our country. So it's one of those situations where one person ruins it for all of them. So we need to deport them all. And if they want to come here, they can do it legally. And then with all the other stuff, with the Ukraine stuff, with the Gaza stuff, whatever. Look. How can we help other countries if we can't even fix ourselves first? Like just the other day, they passed a package bill that was like $118 billion. And some of it went to the Ukraine stuff. Some of it went to the Israel-Gaza stuff. But do you know how much of it was to actually fix problems here in the U.S.? It was for the border. $20 billion. That's less than a fifth of that money. A fifth of our taxpayer money is what we get to have, what we get to use to fix our country. The other 4/5, the other 80% of it went to other countries. And here's the deal. I don't have a problem with that if I looked out my bedroom and it looked like Dubai and stuff outside. I wouldn't have a problem with that because, yeah, it'd be great. we'd have all this awesome stuff that would be thriving, but we're not thriving right now. And to be honest, we're barely surviving. And so that's how I feel about the border and all foreign affairs. We need to close the border. We need to fix us first before we can fix anybody else. And then the third thing, we need to be thinking and considering the state of the economy and the state of our government as a whole. I mean, you've heard it forever. We need to destroy big government. Our government was never meant to be this big with all these stupid agencies like the ATF. I hate the ATF. It's stupid. It's pointless. It's a waste of taxpayer dollars. There's great people working for the ATF. I don't fault them at all. But the creation of the ATF and what it's meant to do and how the weaponization of the ATF, the FBI, the CIA, all of it. We need a complete overhaul, cut it down to the bare minimum, and start over. And I heard something the other day, I can't remember what podcast it was on, but they were talking about how they think, well, they don't think, everything, if you look at all the stuff that gets passed, all the laws that get passed, all the packages, all that stuff, it is way too overcomplicated, and that's kind of for a reason, so stuff can get slipped in there that we don't know about. And, because I mean, if you go around and ask Congress members, senators, if they actually read the entirety of all these bills and stuff, they're either going to lie to you and say yes, or they're going to be like, no, they don't have time for that. And here's the deal. I think we should make a law where every bill that is passed, every law that is passed, has a like a page limit, basically. You know how in college or in high school you had a word limit? I think we should have a page limit. It should be limited to like a page front and back. If you can't explain it, what it does, and how it's going to be done in one page, it's too complicated, and that leaves room for a bunch of gray area. And one of those things, one of those areas that I think we need that one page is the whole tax code. Because I think the tax code, oh man, I can't remember how many pages it is. But it's a lot. It's like a ridiculous amount. And there's no way anybody's ever going to actually look through all that. And a lot of it's financial education. We need to be educated on this stuff. But to make it a lot easier is a 10% flat tax. I think that would solve so many problems. You 10% tax on, like for us as citizens, 10% tax on whatever class you are. So whether you're at the bottom, middle, or upper class, 10%. Because what's happened with the tax code and on businesses, 10%. No loopholes, no nothing. Because first, that would help businesses and help people be able to plan better. Second, what happens is, because to be honest, a lot of the wealthy people, a lot of these big businesses, they're smart. They're going to look for ways to get out of stuff, ways to get around stuff, all that stuff. And if you're not doing that, you're not trying to win, and which goes back to the point of participation trophy culture. But these big businesses, these wealthy people are able to either educate themselves or pay people that are educated in the tax code to find these loopholes so they don't have to pay any taxes. And it's legal. I mean, all these people that are saying tax the rich, well, you could jack up the percentage tax on the rich all you want, but they're going to find ways around it. It's just how it is with the tax code as it is. But if we just do a 10% tax, get a lot more out of it. Because think, if you have somebody who makes $100,000 a year in 10% tax, they pay $10,000 of it and they're good. And then you think about somebody makes $100 million a year. They pay $10 million in taxes. That's it. They can expect it. They know what's coming, so they're able to prepare for it. And you think about it. At $100,000 a year, when you're paying $10,000 just taxes, you divide that $10,000 by 12, that's less than $1,000 a month in taxes, which I believe is actually less than what people that make $100,000 would pay in taxes now. Because if you add up all the collective taxes that we have to pay, property taxes, vehicle taxes, you get taxed when you buy stuff, taxed when you sell stuff, taxed when you work, you get taxed when you pay. You just get taxed in so many different ways that it comes up to over 50% tax on your income. I think sales tax should go, all of it. It should be a 10% income tax. So businesses on their revenue get taxed 10%. People get taxed on their income 10%. That is it. No sales tax, no property tax, none of that. It would solve our financial issue, our debt problem. And then maybe we would be able to look like Dubai and stuff out there. But to be honest, for me, the decision's pretty clear. You have a pro-American and anti-America. Those are your two decisions this year. And to be honest, I don't think Joe Biden's going to be the Democrat nominee. But that party, that everything right now, to be honest, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm not Republican or Democrat because both sides have gotten so extreme. If you go too far one way, you're just ending up on the other side. But I don't think Joe Biden's going to be the nominee. I think they're going to slide somebody in like Michelle Obama or somebody. Who knows what they're capable of. But I think the answer is obvious at this point. Because to be honest, if a Democrat got in that I felt like was pro-America, wanting to fix this country, like if Vivek Ramaswamy came out in 2020, the next cycle, and said he was a Democrat, I'd probably vote for that dude. But here's the deal. The left, the Democrats, have gotten so off the rails communist that I don't think anybody will ever vote that way. We need to really just eliminate the whole party system. It's honestly ridiculous at this point. But I think the answer is obvious, that it should be Trump if we want to have any chance at saving our country. I know I hate talking about politics really, but it's necessary. It's necessary if we want to have any kind of change in this country, because we're headed in a bad direction. Bad direction. And it's going to be up to us to fix it. And I know people are going to say, well, the election's rigged, whatever. Here's the deal. If you don't go and vote, there's no evidence. So at least go and vote so there is evidence. And then if they try to do something again with the election, it's time for us to stand up. We should have stood up better the first time. But it's not happening again. We're not going to let it happen as Americans. We can't let it happen, or we're done. But that is all I have for you guys today. I'm sure there'll be more election content as we move closer to the election. I just wanted to get this out here. I was thinking about it the other day, thinking about some of the issues going on. Wanted to get this out there for you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you share this if you got any value from it. Just so we can help grow the channel, grow the business. And so I can ultimately do my part so we can do our part in making this country the best it's ever been. But I love you guys, and remember, success takes work, work takes time, and time is limited. So get out there and get to work. In the presence See you guys. Of a king.